Everyone, good evening. And we're also now live on YouTube. Welcome, everyone. We're just getting everything set up. So welcome everyone to the event. Happy Douglas Week. We're about to start, so take a virtual seat. Just 1 second there. We're just waiting for everyone to come in. We're now streaming live on YouTube. So everyone watching on YouTube is very welcome to the event as well. Just making sure that everyone is there. Wonderful. Still more people joining us, but I'll give it a go. So happy Douglas Week, everyone. My name is Dr. Caroline Schroeder. I am here with my colleague and friend, Dr. Tim Groenland. We're two of the organizers, the co-organizers of Douglas Week. We're very happy to see everyone here tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're delighted to welcome you back to Douglas Week. Very happy to celebrate Frederick Douglass and his journey to Ireland with you. We've seen so many incredible, creative, inspirational, insightful, and moving events this week, and I think this is going to be another one of those. Been absolutely delighted to be here with you all. Before we start the event, just a very quick few words of housekeeping. This will last about 1 hour. If you have any questions, you can put them in the Q&A box and we'll pass them on to the speakers. Also, this event is being recorded, so you'll be able to find the recording of this event later on YouTube. And it is now my great pleasure to hand over to Tracy Holt from CYPSE. She has been a very strong and kind supporter of the Cork Migrant Centre and Douglas Week, and I'm so delighted to hand over to Tracy now. Tracy Holt, everyone, thank you so much. And you there, Tracy? We got you. We can see you. Yeah. Hang on. Yes, and we can hear you too.
I was lost for a moment there. So I missed some of that. So anyway, my name's Tracy Holt. I'm the coordinator of the Children and Young People Services Committee, which is a joint planning committee working to try and improve services and supports to young people. I've been working with Cork Migrant Centre Youth Initiative Against Racism since the webinar in June, which was held in the wake of the murder of George Floyd. And it gave a platform for young Black people and people of colour for their voices and experiences to be heard, raising awareness about the realities of racism in Ireland and calling on policymakers and organisations to take action. So it wasn't just about raising awareness, it's about taking action. So as a white and older person, slightly older, I continue to learn from these remarkable young people, but also there's an onus on me to educate myself. We shouldn't have to keep asking young Black people and people of colour to keep telling their stories for us to learn. But as white people, we have to be accountable. We have to stand up and we have to have uncomfortable conversations about racism and our power as white people within the dynamic and be open to learning. We have created a space with CYPSE anti-racist subgroup where we continue to learn together and work together to build a community and to build bridges with the young people, voices being central to the process. CMC Youth Initiative Against Racism are developing a toolkit, an anti-racist toolkit as well as part of their work for work in schools and workplaces. And what Douglas Week has done, it's provided an opportunity to highlight all of their amazing work. And the webinar that they've organised today is about promoting positive narratives of Black people in Ireland. And you're going to hear from some remarkable people. So I'm really delighted to welcome you all this evening. I'd like to also thank Dr. Naomi Machete, Coordinator, Cork Migrant Centre, and all the young people and their mentors in the Wakanda group. You know who you are, as well as my colleagues in CYPSE who support this work. To all the participants today in this first I Am Remarkable webinar, I want to thank you for sharing your stories and achievements. Fionnuala O'Connell and Sophie Egan are your hosts this evening, and I'm so proud of you both. And I'm so privileged to be working with you. Before I hand over to the Mayor, I'd like to use a quote from Frederick Douglass, which resonates with me. And some of you will know this. It is not the light that we need, but fire. It is not the gentle shower, but thunder. We need the storm, the whirlwind, and the earthquake. To me, these young people are all of these things, shaking us out of our complacency. I've got immense pride of what they've achieved already. And it's a privilege each day to have the opportunity to work with them. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity. And you're going to just sit back and enjoy this webinar. And you know, you're going to hear from some remarkable people today. So thank you very much. And I'd like to hand you over to the Lord Mayor, Councillor Joe Kavanagh. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you very much indeed. And I'm delighted to be here this evening. And again, I'd just like to a little bit of housekeeping first. I'm delighted to open this evening's event, and I would like to open by saying that I suppose I very much regret last night during one such event, I made a spontaneous contribution to the conference that I now understand may have caused offence and disappointment. I recognise that I should have been more careful, I suppose, with my use of language, and I fully acknowledge this at the conclusion of yesterday's session. This morning, I contacted my fellow panelist, Dr. Naomi Machete, to again make these feelings known and to assure her of my belief that solidarity must be the foundation of all our communities. For me personally, Douglas Week has served to deepen my understanding of the social and racial justice campaigns that underpin the Black Lives Matter movement, and I was delighted to benefit from the week in this way. As Lord Mayor of Cork, I have been delighted and honoured to take part in the online Douglas Week programme. It is so important for events like these to allow young people in particular to tell their own stories in their own words, and I have to acknowledge how remarkable young people with their various social and justice projects throughout the city. I 100% support, as I said previously, the Black Lives Matter movement and respect the massive amount of work that Nano Nagle Place and the Cork Migrant Centre, who I'm very familiar with, and the Young People Against Racism group have done with regards to the Black Lives Matter movement. In my opinion, the Black Lives Matter mural on Sullivan's Quay was one of the best of its type in the country. And I and Cork City Council are very proud of that. And indeed, the work done by the young people from Direct Provision on Curls Quay and in the City Library with the colourful and vibrant My Generation project, which you're familiar, some of you will be familiar with that. It is through your commitment and the interworking between groups like the Cork Migrant Centre and local government that the city jointly can meet the challenges of working towards equity and listens and supports new communities. I would like to thank the organisers of this fantastic event and wish you all the very best for the rest of the evening and indeed the remainder of the programme. Thanks also, very important, to the great Frederick Douglass Week organising team who've done a magnificent job delivering such a fantastic programme enjoyed by so many people. So well done everybody, and have a lovely weekend, and it's a Valentine's weekend, so relax and enjoy it. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Lord Mayor. Again, we're honored to have you in this webinar, and we are indeed, acknowledging your, as you said, your kind of apology, I suppose, from yesterday's event, and that, I suppose, that's all it's about, to kind of educate each other and to kind of learn from these events as well. So we are really grateful for that. And also, I remember in our last webinar, I think it was in June, when you first joined us, you had your Bahamas kind of background. So this time it's back to Cork. That's good.
Yes.
But yes, brilliant. So just to introduce myself to the audience, my name is Sophia Egan, and I'll be your host for today, together with Fionnuala O'Connor. And my background, I suppose, I am a public health researcher here in Cork. I'm a UCC graduate, and I have been volunteering with the Cork Migrant Centre for a while as a youth leader, and I'm honoured to be part of the Douglas Week team. I kind of joined in late, but I'm glad to be part of it. So I'll pass you on to my colleague Fionnuala, who will then carry on.
Thank you so much for all the speakers so far. I'm so excited for this event. It's something we've been talking about for a long time, giving young people a platform. I'm Fionnuala O'Connell. I am the youth project worker at the Cork Migrant Centre Nano Nagle place. And as you already heard, we've been very busy. And this event is very important because growing up, people that look like me were not visible or acknowledged in media, public spaces, classroom, history books. And today we bring forward I Am Remarkable series, one of many, creating a platform to highlight and promote the narrative of Black people and people of color in Ireland. We have an amazing lineup of speakers this evening that will share with you their stories and give us some inspiration. Firstly, we would like to introduce our guest speakers, Paul Oakley and Nagle Sabo, to kick off I Am Remarkable series during this Douglas Week celebration, to highlight the inspiration that is Frederick Douglass, but also to tell us a little bit about their stories and about themselves, their journey to Cork.
Thank you, Fionnuala. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Great. So thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Lord Mayor, Naomi, Tracy, Caroline, everyone involved. So we are remarkable. And why are we remarkable? We're remarkable because we've all said yes to life and we have found ourselves here. So I'm going to tell you how I got here. And I didn't really write down what I was going to say, but I just thought I would go off the cuff. So here we go. I am a survivor of gun violence. When I was 21 years old, I was shot in both my legs, and I was left alone to bleed to death and die, which is what happened. I took what I thought was my last breath. I was found by some remarkable people who, instead of minding their own business, crept and saw that I was in distress and called for help, and I was brought back to life. Through my recovery in a wheelchair at 21 years old, I was the victim of LGBT violence. And I became addicted to the pain-killing pills that I had to take as I went through multiple surgeries. But what I learned in that period of my life was that if I was still here, there was a reason I was supposed to be here. I had just finished college and I still found a way to begin my acting career as I got back on my feet. But everything was different. I saw the world differently. I saw the world as a remarkable place to be. And I saw everyone around me as remarkable, because I realized that where I placed myself, everyone that I put in my sphere was just a reflection of me. And I began to take that very seriously, that who you put around you is a reflection of who you are. As my life and my career went on, there were obviously ebbs and flows. That happens a lot in the acting business, but it happens in every business and everyone's life. There are phases. I was in a bit of a down phase living in New York, And I took a chance because a friend said to me, your career's not going well. Why don't you come volunteer for this political campaign? I had no interest in politics. Hillary Clinton was running for president in 2007 and 8, and she was going to win. That's what I thought. But there was this Senator, Barack Obama, who was running. And my friend said, I can get you a position on that team as a volunteer. And I said, well, that's ridiculous because he's not going to win. So why would I do that? But something in me said, you know what? Say yes to life. You know, acting will always be here. Say yes. I said yes. And in that volunteer event, I met Senator Obama. I met Mrs. Obama. And a few days later, I got a phone call asking me to join the team permanently. And I went on a 7-year odyssey, traveling the country, traveling the world, from Denmark to Ghana to South Africa to Egypt to Kosovo to Tokyo, South Korea, you name it. And this was someone who was working in a retail store with a very bad a non-existent acting career at that time. And now this was my life. I learned new things. I met new people. I went on adventures, and it was remarkable. Then I found myself working for Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden. And when all that ended, I was kind of back in New York trying to figure out what I was going to do. And there was this show, Hamilton, going on. I knew I had the ability to do that type of thing, but it certainly had passed me by, right? So I was writing a lot, and my writing led me back to New York. And I ran into the casting directors at a party. And they remembered me from years and years ago and said, Paul, what are you doing? What are you doing in New York? We thought you were in politics. You know what? Interesting. And they didn't say anything that night, but the next day my agent called and said, they want to see you for Hamilton. Now I was able to walk into Hamilton with no fear because I'd been through so much. So Hamilton to me it wasn't that I didn't think I had a chance. It was that if I got it, great. If I didn't, it wasn't the end of the world. I had already seen the end of the world and worse. I'd seen what had happened to me. I had seen how people treated the Obamas. At the height of their powers, people still called them the N-word. And I saw how they handled it with grace. And because they knew who they were, they knew that their lives mattered. And Hamilton ended up happening. So now I get a lot of people who treat me as if I'm more remarkable than I am because of Hamilton. But I've been listening to the songs of the youth. I've been listening this week, and I've been thinking to myself, they're 10 times more talented than me, and what's missing is opportunity. But I digress. Hamilton ended because of COVID, and I thought, again, so now what? And I was told about Frederick Douglass being in Ireland, and I could have sat at home and wrote about it. The person who told me about it suggested that I write about it, and I could have written a script, a play, or a musical, or a television thing from my comfortable living room in Chicago. But Ireland was calling me. So I said yes to life. And Ireland has been remarkable. And the people I've met have been remarkable. And I want to just continue to take the shine off me, because I want to tell you that 6 months ago, I never, in my wildest dreams, would have imagined that I would be performing in a video with this beautiful woman, Fionnuala O'Connell, or that I would be walking the streets of a place called Cork that I've sadly, because I come from the public school American school system, I'd never heard of Cork. I heard of Dublin, of course, and I knew where Dublin was and all of that, but just some of your outer cities I didn't know. But, and as I look past my computer screen up the hill of Cork to the beautiful church and the beautiful cross and all the beautiful people I've met, I just think I've been just really meditating on this word remarkable. I'm here with my remarkable best mate, Nagle, who also just took a chance and said yes and jumped on a plane with me. We didn't know what was going to happen. And now we have 6 or 7 people who will be in our lives forever, if not more, to be quite frank. That is my story. The story is remarkable. I don't feel remarkable within it. I feel that life will provide, but I want to I want to take this opportunity to say that I'm going to do everything I can to give opportunity to some of these youth who may not feel that that's in the cards for them. It is in the cards for you. Frederick got on a boat and sailed across the world, halfway across the world. Nikhil and I got on a plane and flew halfway across the world. You may not feel that that opportunity is there for you, but it is. It is. Just keep doing what you're doing. Artists, which is what you all are. I know there's some great rappers and singers and beat makers, but there are also some great drawing artists, writers. Your opportunity will come. You have to keep your chin up and keep yourself focused. And remember that you are remarkable just because of the fact that you're here. The creator, whatever you believe that is, that made us, doesn't make mistakes. So whatever verbal violence, physical violence, misunderstanding you have to put yourself up against, know that you're not given anything that you can't handle. And I'm here for you. Fanula's here for you. Nikhil's here for you. Naomi's here for you. The Lord Mayor is here for you. Sophia's here for you. And I guess I want to end it there. I'm sorry, Nikhil, that I'm going to turn it over to you like that, but good luck, brother. I love you.
No, that's actually, that's wonderful. I'll continue to add to that. I mean, my story, I grew up trying to hide a lot and trying to blend in my brownness as much as possible, whether it was the clothes that I wore, the activities that I would do, the food that I would ask my mom to make. There was something that I didn't want to embrace my identity. I didn't want to embrace my uniqueness. And I discovered that the brightest that I could probably shine, the brightest I could shine is when I did embrace my identity. And I think that kind of goes into this place of, like Paul was saying, you know, it really does start with you all. And also it's your individuality, and that your uniqueness is what will slice through everything in life. And, you know, from my story, as I continue to grow up, like I would hide, I would sort of stunt my voice a lot. And now I, you know, sing on a Broadway stage 8 times a week, which for me growing up feels like the exact opposite thing of what I would do. But I had people later in life, sort of almost after college, that helped me embrace my individuality. I wish I had had those people earlier in life, possibly, but I'm so glad that we're here to have this conversation right now with all of you, because everyone on this earth does have that light, and it's all about, you know, kind of taking off this gaze that I think so many people or the world or everything like that puts on to dim that. And, you know, like Frederick Douglass said, you know, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And I would only want to engage with you all and inspire you and uplift all of your voices to build you all up. I mean, I feel like that's part of my mission as a performer. It's not just, my job doesn't just consist of me getting paid to perform or go on stage or sing a note. Like, there has to be something that is so much deeper than that of why I do what I do every day. And I guess my mission continually is to uplift. So yeah, I mean, I went to college for music and everything like that, and studied it, and did my shows and did Mean Girls on Broadway, and now I'm Hamilton with Paul. And I just want to continue to use my platform as a performer to engage in these conversations. So I guess that's all I have to say for right now. I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nagle and Paul. That was great. And I mean, I must say, I did not really, know you. I know, Fanula and the rest of the kind of core team had met with you and had engaged with you before, but I really didn't. And I was looking you up, and I mean, you are remarkable even besides Hamilton, which I also didn't know about, which is, sounds very good. I hopefully we'll get to see it sometime. But yeah, no, thank you so much for really being with us and for, teaming up with the whole crew to kind of present and talk about your stories, which are indeed, empowering to especially our young people and to ourselves as well as mentors. And I think one thing I resonate with you, Paul, is, just saying yes to life. And I think that really is, key at the moment, if even with COVID, if anything that's taught us is to just say yes to life. The fact that we wake up every morning, we can breathe, we can walk, we can, do some activity of whatever form, we should be grateful and, get out, do something, because we are creative, each and every one of us. And I suppose just to not be afraid to put that out to the world and to share that. And as you said, Nagle, we shine best when we embrace our uniqueness. And definitely for me too, I grew up in Tanzania and then I moved to Ireland, and, it was constantly trying to fit into both communities because I'm different in both communities. Yeah. So I did find myself dimming my light according to wherever I was. And I think now at my 27, at my big age, as they would say, I realized that I really shine best when I'm myself. I embrace both my Tanzanian and my Irish side, and I show that wherever I am. And that really does bring out the best in me, my kind of authentic self. So even with my creativity, that's really, what kind of helps me. So thank you very much for those
and it's so much easier, isn't it, Sophia? Isn't it? Yeah. Once you do it, it's so much.
Oh, you feel free. Yes.
To shine your light. Let me say one last thing. I know everybody's wants to get in. You guys, everybody here is already winners. I don't want to get too much into biology, but you already won a race against a million other people to get here. So you're already a winner just by being here. So listen to what Sophia is saying. Take, these are the cards that we're dealt right now at this moment, and also go easy on yourself. If you can't get off the couch that day, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Go easy on yourself, but do understand these are the cards we're dealt right now. This is not the end of the world. A simple Google search will show you 1912, this happened. Everybody was wearing masks. Yep. They got through it, and they didn't even have these things.
Yes. Yeah.
They sat and had conversations. It might be a way to sort of reignite that, with your mentors like Naomi, have a conversation. Remember those?
Yes. Definitely. And I mean, that's it. People have done remarkable things. So that's going on to our next kind of team or crew joining in, it's Memory Haven, who have also, in spite of the pandemic, have done marvelous things. They have managed to develop an app called Memory Haven to kind of help with people suffering from dementia. And they won the Technovation, which is a huge contest in Europe for young girls, together with their mentor, Evelyn. So I think the app has launched was it last year in October? I'm not sure, you might correct me there, Evelyn. But yeah, no, they were incredible. So I'll let them join in, and probably Evelyn, you can start. And I'll let the girls as well whenever they are available. So Joy, Rachel, and Margaret as well, if they are there. Brilliant, we have them. So yes, Evelyn, you can go ahead, and maybe you can again talk us how you kind of, I suppose, what inspired you to kind of formulate this group of girls and to mentor them and to get them into the contest as well, and the kind of purpose of your app as well. So go ahead.
Right. So thank you so much. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Got a nice professional microphone there.
all right, yeah, I'm always talking for. I actually don't need this now. I forgot.
That's grand.
I'm always having one meeting or another. But anyway, thank you so much for having us. We are very happy and delighted to be here. So on behalf of Memory Haven, I say thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
And for those of you that have spoken before us, it was very interesting to hear from you. And we've learned a couple of stuff from yourself. Yeah, the reason why I went into, first of all, let me introduce myself, Evelyn Amayo. I am a software engineer, and I've been in this field for a while now. I noticed that you have very few women in it. And even when you have women in it, you have to be honest with you, I don't see any Black women there, so I took it upon myself to try and encourage more young girls to get into the field. Right. So, and how can I do it? All I needed to do was to stretch. Yeah, of course, I had a couple of people around me, and I started from, my friends' children, and even my daughter. My daughter, I studied computer science. She's a graduate of computer science eventually, because obviously she got inspired by what I do, and she's now, she's in it now. But anyway, so that's the genesis of the whole thing, And I said, okay, how do I actually make this a big thing? So who do I partner with? Of course, I've been in Ireland, and I know there's nothing like that. And I didn't just want it to be something that I just do, when I feel like doing. So I decided to set up a non-for-profit organization called Phase Innovate to make it official. And our goal there is to see how we can, again, bridge the gender and race gap in the tech field. So I partnered with a company called Technovation, that, like you mentioned. Technovation is an organization in America that also do what I do, but obviously in a larger scale. They get girls from across the world to look around their community and see how they can use technology to solve a social problem, and app to be specific. So they do this on a yearly basis. I think they've been doing it for a couple of years now, but I only joined them about 2 years ago, right? Correct me, girls? Yeah, 2 years ago. So we only joined them 2 years ago. And so I got some girls, involved in it. It's like a competition. They go out there and they get the girls from across the world to solve a social problem, and they now submit their problems, or rather their invention, typically around April or May on a yearly basis. So obviously I got some girls around, and we did it the first time. We got to semifinals, but last year we did it again, and we actually won the competition. And it was interesting that, the number of people that participated in it, that was what was mind blowing for us. And it was very competitive. About 5,400 girls actually were involved in it, so we were very happy that the world embraced it. And that was the birth of Memory Haven. And a lot of people across the globe have reached out to us and actually waiting to see the application developed, Yeah, so I guess I should leave it here, and I let the girls take it from here.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. It's also a good story of, kind of perseverance, as you said. You didn't get as far as you wanted, or like to the winning, although you did get, pretty far, and eventually you won the competition. So congratulations, and really remarkable again. So yeah, I'll welcome our three beautiful queens there. So we have Joy, Rachel, and Margaret. So girls, if you could just, I suppose, take turns, or whoever feels, comfortable answering. I suppose, what was going through your heads when you were entering these competitions, and, working together hand in hand with Evelyn as well, your mentor. What kind of was going through your head? What challenges or what fears or what, what was going on in your heads, basically. So yeah.
I think we all just, well, we started, me and my sister, me and Margaret Ashley sisters, we started with Evelyn in 2018, and so did Joy actually, but me and Margaret knew Evelyn before because we're in the same church. And she started a summer camp in 2018 to get girls involved in technology. And it actually started off as a summer camp to get people of different ethnic backgrounds, so Black, Asian, whatever, girls and boys involved in app development and entrepreneurship. And we did that. And after that, we started doing a lot more competitions with Evelyn and eventually Tech Innovation. And yeah, we went on to win this year, thank God. And I think we learned a lot, not just about technology and entrepreneurship, but about teamwork and communication and confidence, and also a lot about the wider community. I mean, we're all three of us are still in school, so we're pretty sheltered, but because of the people we were meeting, and because our faces were kind of all over the place, we were exposed to so much more. And I think it really did open all of our eyes to the goods and the bads of just kind of being out there. And yeah, so yeah, we faced a lot. We got a lot of praise, like Mrs. Namaya said, we got a lot of people globally wanting to work with us, which is amazing. But we also did get a lot of negative comments and hate, because we are Black girls representing Ireland. And I'll never forget the night before they announced the winners, the Irish Times, which is an Irish paper, for people who don't know, they put us on their website, and they were kind of like, they were praising us. They were saying three, what's they say, Nigerian Irish girls, yeah, represent Ireland in a global competition. And I remember Mrs. Namaya put in our group chat, and she was like, they're saying we're not Irish, but me and Margaret were like, I don't know what she's talking about. And then we clicked into the story, and all the comments were basically just people saying like, they're not Irish, Black girls can't represent Ireland, so on and so forth. And although there were amazing comments, I mean, the saying like, you know, the hateful ones always stick, really did come to play in that situation. We were on call to Joy, we were like, what do we do? We were so close to making a fake Twitter account to come back at all the hate, but we had to tame ourselves. And I think the scariest part of it was how calm Mrs. Namaya was about it, and our parents as well. They were like, listen, this is the world you live in. You have to just kind of get used to it and go and keep going. And I think that's what angered me the most, how used to it they were and how calm they were about it, because we were outraged. Like I said, we're pretty sheltered still in school. Of course, we have experienced stuff here and there, but that was on a different scale and different level. And just seeing how used to it they were was genuinely terrifying to me. And I remember after the whole thing was said and done, we won or whatever, we were doing an interview, and Mrs. Namaya actually started crying, saying that even though she's used to it, it still hurts, and she was just putting on a brave face for us. And that, I think that kind of made us all realize like, wow, like this is the world we live in. And it was around the time that the Black Lives Matter movement started, and it's just although it's been a very empowering experience, it's definitely been a real eye-opener for the world that we are living in and the change that does need to come. So yeah, that's just been my experience. If anyone else wants to talk.
Brilliant. No, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, definitely, like I remember that was going on the news as well. And I mean, it must have been difficult, as you're saying, as, you know, young teens, and you're trying to, like, you know, you represent your country. Getting this kind of comments. So brave, and, you know, well done you for kind of persevering through that. And as you said, you know, change needs to happen. So I hope that you are taking part in, you know, the different groups that are trying to make change. So yes, well done. Yeah, any other of you would like to comment, Joy or Margaret?
I guess I'll just say, like, obviously those negative things that did happen, but I think for all of us, winning the competition was a huge deal for us. It was a thrilling and exciting experience, and one that we'll never forget. But yeah, it was great. Like, we've all, you know, enjoyed the past few months and the little change that we have been able to make in the tech world as women. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
Yeah, brilliant. And I suppose lastly, if you don't want to add anything else, if you could just even tell us, you know, as ourselves as adults and even your kind of fellow young people who are in here, you know, what would be your key message to kind of, you know, keep that level of motivation and, you know, keep going, I suppose, against all odds, and, you know, what kind of drives you?
Well, I'd say it's consistency. That's the only way we found that we were able to get things done and keep going. It's because we tried our best to at least work on little bits every day and to try and get something small done, even if it was small, because it all adds up in the end. And yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. And I suppose, yeah, even like you work together as a team, so you know, that must have helped as well. And yeah, and I see that, so did the app launch last year already, is it?
Well, we actually only, Margaret,
Yeah, there you go.
We actually only have a prototype so far. It takes a lot more than we thought it would take to develop a fully fledged app. So we're aiming for sometime this year, hopefully, to launch it officially.
Okay, brilliant. And I did see that you're planning to, you know, again, expand it. So brilliant. Yeah, if there's any other comment or anything you want to add before we move on? No.
Well, I suppose the comment that immediately pop into my head will be just to encourage more people, more young people, especially girls, and to see how they can get into the tech space. You know, there are different levels of tech careers, but it's not, I know a lot of people are afraid of coding, but it's not all about coding. There are different aspects to it. So yes, so I mean, this is a call out to whoever is watching. If you have young girls, try and encourage them. You know, this world has a lot of problems that we need, that technology can actually help us solve, you know, especially social problems. Right. Yeah. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Evelyn. And maybe, like, do you even work with, let's say if anybody wanted to reach out to any of our young girls here, and I know even at the Cork Migrant Center, we are trying to now reach out to different tech companies, and Naomi, I think, and Fanula are kind of organizing, you know, workshops. So yeah, is it something that, you know, is it only for Dublin people? Or...
Oh no, this, you know, I actually mentor Nigerian girls. I mentor girls from America, funny enough, because this is a global village we live in now. So how do I even help them? It's online. I don't even see them anymore. So, yeah, so anywhere you are, you're fine. Brilliant. Just reach out to me, and that's it. I will take it from there. And as a matter of fact, every Saturday we have what we call, I have workshops for girls. You know, I get corporate organizations to come and talk about certain issues, you know, even how to get things done, even like things like design thinking, you know, how to work remotely. So I have 1 hour workshops for young girls on every Saturday, you know. So anybody out there, just reach out to me and I'll talk you through that.
Brilliant. And maybe, yeah, we could even put that in the comments or in the chat section. But thank you very much, Evelyn.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
Thank you to the beautiful ladies there. So Joy, Rachel, and Margaret, we are indeed, you know, honored that you made it here, and you are remarkable indeed. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing with us your journey. I think you guys are so remarkable, and it's more of these platforms we need for people to see you and for you to share your message that you are there, you are doing, you're paving the way for a lot of other young people to follow. So I'm so happy you're here today. I'm going to move on to our next speaker, and he is a professional footballer for UK champion club Rotherham United FC, and I'm going to welcome Che Ndoze.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
As Fanula said, my name is Chidoze. I'm a professional footballer for Rotherham United based in the UK here. I moved to Ireland with my family when I was 8 years old. I'm now 23. I left home. I left Cork about 3 years ago. I signed with Brentford, which is the first club that I moved to in the UK. Originally, I'm Nigerian, obviously. Anyway, I came on here today because this is a very interesting thing, and I want to help every young people to live their dream, to follow their dream. Obviously, my biggest message is I made it. I'm here today. When I was younger in Cork, growing up, I wasn't the most talented. In the football world, there's a lot of players that were better than me, stronger than me, but I'm here today and they're not. So I'm just here to share my story and how you can be, you can be here one day telling your story, and just to give you the energy not to ever give up. The main thing, obviously, I've been a professional footballer for 4 years, actually. I played football all of my life as a kid. At 17, I was playing Gaelic football with Nemo Rangers and playing football at my local club, Everton. And at 17, I had to make a decision to follow one sport. I think I was in my 5th year. I was about to do, coming up to my leaving cert. And obviously from a Nigerian background, education is very important. So I decided to follow my dream and trying to be a professional footballer. It all began with Cork City, actually, when I was signed with Cork City at the age of 18, just to play with the youth team. And I made my debut as a professional, my first professional senior appearance later that year, where we won the FAI Cup. So things were really good for me. Coming up to that, I did have a lot of ups and downs, not being accepted in teams and going to teams and not being good enough. So the same journey every kid goes through. But it can be very tough when you're that young. It's so easy to give up. So I did make my appearance. I later on moved to Limerick. I think I was 18 at the time, and I really wanted to play football. And the team that Cork City had at that time was very, very strong. We had a lot of talented players, and I wanted to be like them. And the only way I could be like them is to maybe go to a weaker team and try to learn the game, get experience. So I moved to Limerick, and it was a difficult year for me because I was quite young and I didn't understand what take criticism from other people. A lot of Cork City fans would call me a snake, and I would travel to Limerick to train or play a match, and I'll come back to Cork and I'd be on the bus, and I used to be scared to come off the bus because unfortunately at that age other people's opinion did matter to me. And when people give their opinion, as much as I put off a brave face, it would affect me when I go home. And I was a crybaby at 18. I used to cry a lot, go home and cry. And so obviously I used to commute to Limerick. And how I got signed from Limerick, obviously, I did not want to take the contract at Cork City because it was not beneficial for me as a player. I made a calculated decision. I decided to ring the manager of Limerick to ask him, could he offer me a trial for 3 days so I can try to prove myself, which not many players do at such a young age. So I went to Limerick, and after 3 days, I was offered a contract, which was a dream come true. I signed my first professional contract at 19, and I played a year of football in Limerick, and things started moving really well for me. And obviously, as that age, when you get interest from abroad, especially UK, where it's the biggest foundation of football, it's a big thing for me. And obviously, I got picked up by Brentford, which is a championship team. It's a second tier if you don't really follow football. It's a second league, the second best league in England. And I got picked up by Brentford, and I spent a really difficult 18 months at Brentford. I signed a 3-year deal. I know how football is. Football is it's a business, and it's all about making money. And I was quite young at that stage, so I would say I was quite naive. I took everything for granted. Didn't understand that it was a game, and obviously I was away from home, moved away from home. I used to miss my family, miss all my friends, and that I missed not a crucial part of my childhood, but the most exciting part of my childhood. Had a very difficult 18 months. I didn't play a lot of football. There was a lot of better players than me. They knew the league and I didn't. I was away from home. I suffered injury. I had an ankle injury that kept me out of the game for a bit. And I had a lot of time of loneliness, and especially when the times were unpredictable. It was quite difficult. But after 18 months, I kept going. I'm quite religious, and I believe everything happens for a reason. And I moved to my current club right now, where I moved this club 2 years ago. I left London. I had 2 years left on my contract, which is unheard of. A player leaving when you have, you earn decent money, you live in London, and I was just unhappy. The money was not making me happy. I missed my family. I was not playing football. I wanted to be a footballer, and I had this shame. This, as I said, people's opinion matter, and I had this shame that going back to Cork, he's a professional footballer in the UK, and he's not playing football, and a lot of kids look up to me in Cork, and they'll ask me a lot of questions, and I used to be ashamed of myself because I wasn't playing football. I couldn't tell them, how to be where I am when I'm not playing. So I made the decision to move to Rotherham, where my current club is now. And since that, I'm moving good for me. I've played the best football of my life, and we gained promotion back to the Championship, the second tier of England, which was very good on my first year in the club. So everything was moving very well. A lot of good people here. The manager likes me, and I couldn't ask for a better club. Unfortunately, 4 months ago, just over 4 months ago, I picked up a meniscus injury in my right knee. I was told I had to go for surgery immediately. So I had surgery. I haven't been playing football for over 4 months now. Luckily, the surgery was successful. I've been doing a lot of rehab, and obviously with COVID, living away from home, I live on my own actually. It's quite difficult, a lot of loneliness, especially when you have dark days. And we're human beings, we will have ups and downs. And I'm grateful for the support of my friends and my family, and obviously my teammate and the club I'm in. I'm just hoping in 3 weeks' time, I will be fit again and be ready to play football. But this was a really great idea because I want to share my story, and I know a lot of kids want to be professional footballers, and I know how difficult it can be. But I'm just here to share to them that I didn't have the perfect journey, and I'm still here. As I said, I wasn't the best player that was, growing up, and I'm still here. Life is, a roller coaster. You will have ups and downs. And when you have downs, you need a lot of positive people that will motivate you. You need to have good friends around you. And I know it's not easy to let go of negative friends, but, growing up, you need these things, in any part of your life. You have to have courage. I had the courage. It was a big risk to leave your local club to go across to another city you've never been, to try to play football and live. This was, I was chasing my dream. And if you're a singer, you're a teacher, anything in life, you need to have courage. You have to take the risk. And as I believe tough times never last. When I had surgery the first week, I used to cry myself to sleep. I was in a lot of pain. But 4 months later, it's like it never happened. So I do promise these things will always get better. And obviously this is more for me, but I know a lot of youth will suffer it. Other people's opinion does not say who you really are. And when I was 18, 17, I used to depend on other people's opinion. They said, oh, he would never make it. A lot of people said I would never make it. I was too old. I was 17. It's too late. You have to be 14. But I'm here today, and I'm playing in the second best league in England. And before my injury, I had a lot of options to go to the Premier League, which is a dream of mine. So, I promise you, if I could make it, you guys could make it in any of your career. And it will be difficult, but I promise, I just want you to know that it will be difficult no matter what career you choose, but you have to do it anyway. That's all.
Wow, thank you very much, Chidozie. That was brilliant. And I mean, I suppose you said that you probably didn't have the perfect journey, and I suppose nobody ever has that. And we realize that as we get older, that, it's never perfect. And, the one thing that really kind of struck me again is that to not be afraid to walk away from, as you said, negative vibes or kind of anything that you just find really doesn't suit you or doesn't make you happy. And, you did give up that, which, you said it was kind of almost at a peak of your career, and you just decided it wasn't making you happy. You moved back from it, but you still went on and did great, and, still kind of went through life, and you made it, as you're saying. And hopefully there'll be more success your way. And really, that was really good, very encouraging. So thank you very much once again for being your remarkable self. So our next kind of speaker then, and we're kind of almost running out of time, but bear with us, is Ugonna Duru. So she is one of our young people at the Cork Migrant Centre, and she has just made a breakout this year. I suppose it's crazy for her, as the creator of the Irish Sign Language app, Lingo. So welcome, Ugonna, and maybe you can just talk us a bit through your kind of, again, what inspired you, how you came to realize this app, and how you're feeling.
Okay. Hello, my name's Ugonna. I'm 16 years old. And first, I'd like to say thank you for having me here. It's an honor to be considered remarkable enough to be talking right now. For those who don't know, Lingo is an app that I created, and it gives you an opportunity to learn Irish Sign Language, actually. First, a bit about me. My favorite color is blue. I like pizza, but I dislike olives and pineapples, and that's the end of me. But so back to how I got here. I first was introduced to Nagle in 2018. CMC Cork Migrant Centre in Nagle in 2018. My mum actually wanted to go to the opening of the youth program there, and she asked me and my sister to come along. After that, we signed up for a dance, and the rest is history, put bluntly. Over the years, we were able to mix with so many different people that I would have never met before in any other situation. And the opportunities we were given during the program was amazing. Some of them were performing in Dell on African Day and singing in UCC as well, thanks to Andrea and Stevie, who were our mentors during those years. And one of these opportunities that came with Cork Migrant Centre was actually Teen Turn. Teen Turn is a charity that gives girls the opportunity, that empowers girls to look for careers in STEM. And I joined Teen Turn during CYPSE. And I actually joined 4 weeks late, believe it or not. I was only notified of it 4 weeks later. They were just looking for any extra girls that would like to join before the course started getting serious. And just that day, actually, during school, we were discussing what we would like to learn during transition year. And some girls mentioned that they'd like to learn sign language in transition year. And I kind of kept that in the back of my head. So then that same day after school, I had to attend SciFest. And I was told to come up with an idea of what I'd like to do. And I thought, well, for sure, I want to do an app. But the question was what my app was going to be about. And so then I thought of the sign language again. And I thought, why not create an app about learning sign language? And from there, I came up with the idea. It took another few weeks though to learn, to come up with a name for Lingo. But when I did, I knew that was it. That was going to be the name.
Great name.
Yeah, exactly. What I want for Lingo is for it to be used in class learning, but specifically in transition year. As I previously mentioned, we had a lot of time to learn new things. And so I think by learning it in TY, it would give us more opportunity to actually go more in depth in it than any other year or any other class. The same can also be said with me wanting people to learn sign language because I want Ireland to be more diverse. The same can also be said with Ireland as a whole. I believe if people are given the opportunity to learn from other people through communication, then there'll be less of a chance of people being discriminated against based on their sexuality, their race, religious background, and other factors that humans discriminate against. So my idea was by giving the girls in my class an opportunity to learn a language and be able to communicate with people that they may have never been able to, I was hoping that they would be more open to them in the end. But one idea that I actually had, this is more for the mayor now, was for an official culture day for schools. This comes from when I was younger. We used to dress up in our traditional wear. We used to cook our own traditional food and come into school and just dish out food for everyone. And there'll be catwalks and fashion shows and everything. Of course, this was pre-COVID, so we were able to give out food and everything. But we were able to freely talk about the different cultures and different foods, and we were able to freely just enjoy our culture and the different cultures that surrounded us as well. And I believe that day really made me inspired to be interested in other cultures and be open to them as well. Thanks. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming today and sharing with us your amazing app.
Thank you.
And just being remarkable. And it seems like you've been on such a journey. You arrived 4 weeks late and still you managed to come out
yeah.
and create this amazing app that everyone is asking for at the moment. And hopefully there'll be even more demand once it's actually launched. So we're all excited for that. And yeah, we're going to take this journey and see and see where it goes. So thank you so much for coming and telling us about your app.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. The next speaker we have is Andrea Williams. She's a visual artist, dance teacher, choreographer, and a mentor at the Cork Migrant Centre, Nano, Nagle Place, and so much more. But I'll let her tell you all about it now.
Okay, before I introduce myself, I want to say something. Ugana, I am so, so proud of you. I remember, oh my God, I'm going to start crying again, guys. Every time you ask me to speak, I cry. No, I remember Ugana when she, she was coming to the classes, like she would be so shy, she wouldn't talk. And just sitting here, hearing you talk about your app and just the fact that you're so outspoken now. And I'm not a parent. I don't know how a parent would feel right now, but I'm pretty sure the proud moment I'm having right now is the same as a parent. I feel like I want to hug you. You're amazing. Okay, guys. So my name is Andrea. I come from this small country in the west coast of Africa called Cape Verde. So I always give this background because of my people, because it's what made me what I am today. So we are a mix of cultures, a mix of people. So my entire life up until I was 17 when I moved to Portugal, all I knew was diversity, because we are so diverse, like all the people that were brought, because we were like a slave port. So we had like influence from everywhere in the world, Europeans, Africans. But the one thing I remember is, even though I am from Africa, I knew more about Europe than I know from Africa, because we weren't taught African history in school. We weren't taught, like, in a way, I know the history of my father's side because he's half Portuguese, so I know his history, but I don't know the history of my mother's side, which is African. And that's one thing that I've always been very strong about, the fact that we need to learn our history, we need to learn. Okay, just to give you a bit of a story, I remember when I moved to Portugal, because I was surrounded by people that looked like me, talked like me, and I thought that was like the norm, So when I moved to Portugal, I was very young. I went there to study law because I wanted to save the world. So when I went there, I realized how different I was being treated, and it didn't stop me. I still went through college, even though all the challenges that I had, I was there by myself. I had no family, no one. I knew no one when I went there. But I've always worked with institutions, that defend even women's rights, children's rights. So I was always doing this kind of work. And I remember one episode, I was in a mall and I was working with this association. They are called APAF. So they help women that are victims of sexual abuse, domestic abuse. And I was in a mall, and my job was actually to stop people and tell them about the organization and just create awareness in general. And I would stop anyone because I don't care, like you're walking, I'll stop you, I'll try to talk to you. And I stopped this guy, he was like, you know, in suit, and he just said the most, for me, like the most ridiculous thing. He was like, are you not ashamed of stopping someone like me? And then in my head, he was like, you know, what do you mean someone like you? You're a human being, just like I am. And then I realized he was talking about, you know, my color, the color of my skin. And in any situation like this, I would probably just start crying because I cry with everything. But I just told him that, you know, the only difference at that time between me and him was probably he had more money than me, probably, I don't know. And the education, because he was the one in suit, but he was the one being ignorant about something that we were, you know, trying to create awareness and trying to help people. So yeah, I think some things in life, they're due to ignorance, you know, due to people not researching, not knowing, not relating to the other human being in front of you. And one thing I always try to say to young people is, especially Africans, because we weren't taught our history. Whenever you guys start searching, and it will be a search that you have to do, you know, the same way Frederick Douglass, he taught himself the part of African history. It's something that you guys will have to research because it's not on any history book. And I've read many books. It's not, there's so many things that I researched for myself because I remember being in a group of friends, you know, and hearing comments like, you know, African people are not smart, African people are, you know, not that intelligent. And at that time it angered me, but I didn't have the facts with me to tell them, you know, no, we did this, we did this, we did that, because all I knew about Africa was what I learned in school. And what I learned in school is everything after colonization, after slavery, after we being discovered and we being saved. So my best advice for you, so you don't have to go through what I went, which is like hearing people that I consider being my friends telling me like, you know, Africans are not smart, they are not intelligent. So know your history, know your past. It's sorry. Every time I cry. It is so empowering when you know that things that we use nowadays, that we would say, you know, there's no way this came from Africa. It actually came from Africa. There's so many things. And nowadays, every time I hear the word minority, I actually hate it because there's nothing minor about us. Okay. I think I'm not gonna be able to talk anymore. Sorry.
No worries, Andrea. Thank you so much. And your words, they're just it's that thing in you, because you feel so much. And like even with everything, like even learning our own history is something that we have to go and dig for ourselves. We have to go and research. And who are you without history?
Yeah.
And that's something when I was younger, I used to tell everyone I hated history so much. And no, people couldn't understand it. Like, the world is history. We learn from our mistakes, but we're taught such a narrow history, and leaving out so much that you don't see women, you don't see Black people, you don't see people of color. It's just so narrow, and I think it's something we have to research for ourselves at the moment, but it's something we can work towards, and we are working towards, and so many people are working towards kind of decolonizing the curriculum and having a broader picture of history.
I another fact about growing up, I remember when I was really small, and this is like so stupid nowadays that do you know the Barbie?
Yes.
I had a Barbie, maybe I was like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. And I remember like I wanted to look like Barbie so much that I would take like bed sheets and I would put it so to make like, her long hair. And it's nowadays that I think about it, it's the fact that, that was the only beauty representation that we had, that we thought that, our Afro wasn't beautiful enough. So we had to have like the long hair. So one of my things that I'm proud, last year I did 2 commercials and they went into national TV, and I remember getting like messages from other African women saying like they were so proud because they were finally seeing like some sort of representation in national TV. And just the fact that the way that you look, it's like you are not Irish because you don't look Irish. Like then it goes back to my country. We are such a mix of people that for about like over 10 years after we got independent, we went through a huge crisis of identity because we are mixed. Then we are like, are we more Europeans? Are we more Africans? Because for Europeans, we weren't Europeans, obviously, and Africans, like you guys, you're not your color, So, yeah, and it's still a huge thing. I've learned to, and this is a word that I use a lot, undefined. I learned to be undefined. I don't let anyone define who I am because of the color of my skin. I define myself as a human being. Obviously, I am a proud Black woman, and I will just like, all the time. Yes. But I think if we all realize that we are human beings first, then this, I think, will somehow manage to make this world a better place. And if we all do a little bit, something good, a little bit every day, maybe we'll achieve something. So yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. That was great and powerful again. And thank you for opening up and, again, sharing your, I suppose, vulnerabilities and your experience. And yeah, it just shows again how, again, resilient and remarkable you are as well. And I know you even from dancing way back in hot sauce. So no, I can definitely, vouch for that, you're great and, you've done great things. And it's great to see again, that you're proud of that yourself and, reaching, as you said, to like, national television. And also there is a link, I think, that has been posted there to everyone. So that's, it's a link to Heritage. It's a video, visuals, kind of work that Andrea, Fanula, Raphael, and together with the Douglas Week have kind of collaborated together with other artists from Dublin and Cork as well. So do check it out. It's on YouTube. Share it, like it, spread the word. It's a beautiful piece of work. So well done to you all.
Yeah. And I just want to say something about the kids. I've worked with the Nano Nagle, the Cork Migrant Center for over 3 years. And the kids that we work with, they are just the most amazing human beings I've ever met. Like, they changed my perspective in life so much. I used to like worry about like things that nowadays I'm like, oh my God, Andrea, really? And like, because they go through so much things, but their resilience it's astonishing. Like their joy for life, you know, their willingness to not let their situation dictate, you know, what they want to do, what they want to achieve. They just go for it, you know. And I just want to say, like, I love you guys. I miss you, even though you wreck my head in the dance classes. I can't wait to go back to the classes. And thank you, everyone in this panel. You guys are just so inspiring, and I'm grateful I get to hear your stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Brilliant. So just as we're kind of closing up, I would like to kind of, you know, again, shine light on a few of our youth as well who have done great work collaborating with the Douglas Week team in creating different pieces of art, songs, rap. So I think we have them here on the panel. So if they could just, you know, kind of turn off their videos and, you know, give us a little wave, and yeah, if they can answer some questions as well, that's great. So we have, I think I'll play the video first. Do we have the video?
I have the audio file. We have the audio file for both. So
we could see first and then get on to the kids, or?
Yeah, I thought we'll play the two videos from yesterday. I'm Remarkable it's a series, and it's one that we hope to continue. So you'll see a lot of our youths featured on it because they are remarkable. And we just want to play maybe two of the songs at the moment to see, well, not to see, for you to hear them, for you to enjoy them. I'm going to try and share screen now, so please forgive me. And let me see what I can do.
Okay. And thank you all for, you know, bearing with us with the timing, but it's been great, you know, to hear everyone and to just see the kind of, again, as Frederick Douglass himself, as a young fella, who did his autobiography at a young age, came to Cork, I think he was 27, right after he wrote that. And it's that
Frederick Douglass.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I think, we can
get
started. Play on.
This first track is by Toby and Cliff. If they're here, you can say hi. But I'll just play.
We can bring them up after the audio.
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass, once a slave, became a brilliant and powerful leader of the anti-slavery movement. In 1852, he was asked to speak in celebration of the 4th of July.
Running, away from it all. Running, trying to chase it all.
The pain never ends, the chain never ends though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end. Once flying high, now the planes in descent. We dance through the night, celebrate what you meant.
Dance through the night, celebrate what you meant.
Every freak was so monumental. We can't be beat cause you're so instrumental. You set the blueprint, no better footprints.
No better.
You got us running. Away from it all, now you got us running. Trying to chase it all, running for office. You got us running for office. You got us running for office. You got us running for office.
Running, away from it all. Running, trying to chase it all.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
Like a man in better
fetters into the grand illuminated temple of liberty and call upon him to join you in joyous anthems or inhuman mockery and sacrilegious irony. Do you mean, citizens?
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end though.
The pain never ends, the chains never end.
You got us running, away from it all. Now you got us running. Trying to chase it all, running for office. There she goes, Kamala running. There he goes, Obama running. There she goes, Kamala running. There he goes, Obama running. There she goes, Kamala running. There he goes, Obama running. There she goes, Kamala running. There he goes, Obama. Thanks to Frederick, we changed the rhetoric. Thanks to Frederick, we changed the rhetoric.
That was Toby and Cliff. And the next song, the final song of the night, is going to be by Raphael, one of our youth mentors, and Charmaine and Joshua.
Listen, I never changed, I just grew up, that's all. Learned all about where I'm from, and it changed my whole plan. My perspective on everything, truth and now consider false. And I've been hurt by so many things, but nothing ever cuts bone deep than when they strip off the melanin. Discrimination from racial construction, and no one's screaming it's racism. No one's backing the kid again, got my backs against the wall, but I feel like facing the wall again. I'm sick of taking boxes, I'm more than the box they put me in. My status changed, this relationship with the white man is complicated. When we was kids, we never even talked to think about it. When we got chased, bruised up, called every name but our own. Man, I never felt so alone. The hate you give little infants affects everybody. No freedom even when grown.
Speak to me in words unspoken. Shout it out above the trees. Speak to me with silence broken. Share with me the life you lead. You sigh so deep, the ocean's moving endless waves, washing up onto the shores with every breath you take. A strange lesson through the darkness of the night, causing out unspoken feelings weighing on my mind. I know you out there somewhere where I cannot say, drifting, waiting, saving your secret till the perfect day. Speak to me in words unspoken. Shout it out above the trees. Speak to me with silence broken. Share with me the life you lead. Speak to me in words unspoken. Shout it out above the trees. Speak to me with silence broken. Share with me the life you lead.
Was divided, we don't share the same pain. Been hurt, bruised up until my eyelids make it rain. Forever constrained, spit us out like sugar canes. My world's moving forward and backwards like subway trains. Fake friends in DMs, not in my lane. You wanna keep it real like the capital of Spain. I'm struggling, I'm praying to God, break every chain. I'm struggling, I'm praying to God, heal all my pain. Let's remix Beyonce, say my name. Only love me on the swing like Harry Kane. But this is not a game, no, this is not a game. It's reality, it's all a part of me. They wanna body me before they love me. I'm Irish, just easy, I'm proud, I never lose. And even if I lose, these haters follow my moves. And even if I lose, these haters follow my moves.
Speak to me in words unspoken. Shout it out above the trees. Speak to me with silence broken. Share with me the life you lead. Speak to me in words unspoken. Shout it out above the trees. Speak to me with silence broken. Share with me the life you lead.
Wow. Fabulous. I saw the crowd waving and, bringing their hip hop moves as well. That was fantastic. Fantastic.
That was amazing. And that was just a taster of what is to come and what our youths have been working with. And they had their amazing mentors, Stevie G and Raphael and Cliff and Toby on that track. I wonder if Charmaine, are you here? Just to say hello so people can see you. Charmaine is one of the artists, the singer on the second song. Her voice is phenomenal. And as I said, this is just one series of many that is yet to come.
Yes, can't wait to hear more. On Spotify, YouTube, everywhere.
Yeah. I was just wondering if Josh was here or Toby to say hi. No?
Joshua.
We'll keep it for the lunch. Wait, guys, stay tuned. Check our social media. All the information. There's Josh.
Yeah. Waving to us.
Yes.
Well done, Joshua. Some bars.
Joshua and Raphael worked on the track together, and his voice, that rap came in, and I was just wow.
Yes. Yeah, what stood out, like the kind of key line for me was that I don't know if it was Raph or Josh's, like, I'm more than a box you put me in. And it was, great lyrics all together. And that was it for me. So well done. Brilliant, everyone. And I think, someone else commented there, big change, a rhetoric, a great one as well. So everyone just loves you guys, and we can't wait to see more of what you're going to create. And we have great mentors here. We have Paul and Nikhil as well, who are willing to, again, help out and, support. So that's really great and well done. So keep at it.
Yeah, and just to finish up and close off, I know we went way over the hour, but it was too amazing to hide it and keep it from all of you. So I am just gonna remind you all again, this is only one of many series to come, and where you'll see a lot of remarkable people sharing their remarkable stories and their remarkable talents. And I'd like to thank everyone who took the time to log in today, and to our amazing panelists who came, showed up, and just inspired us all. And we're so grateful that you could make it today and share with us your stories. And I think there's something for everyone to take home tonight. And so I want to thank the Douglas team. I want to thank CYPSE and Tracy, who is forever there for us whenever we need her. The Cork County Council, Social Inclusion Office, Nano Nagle Place, UCC Africa Society, and all the amazing collaborators that made this amazing event happen today. We just want to thank you all. And if you want more information about the music and the work we do, check out our social media, Cork Migrant Center, and we'll let you know when all the songs are dropping. So thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you to all our guests and panelists as well. So have a good evening, have a good weekend as well. Valentine's, just self-love. Self-love is key. Get yourself a card, some roses from your garden, anything works. Thank you very much for Nula as well, and to all our coordinators. So we'll leave as well. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much, everyone.